Welcome back to another episode of the Last Boy Scouts Survival in Bushcraft. Today, we're going to be talking about whipping and fusing. So stick around. You're going to learn something. When it comes to whipping and fusing, let's not overcomplicate things. Whipping is simply taking the end of your rope, which has frayed or beginning to fray, and you're creating a wrap around it to prevent it from further fraying. And fusing is simply burning and melting the end of a type of cordage that you can melt and it will seal itself. Very simple, very easy. Let me show you how to do it. All right, so you're out and about and you need to basically cut off a piece of your cordage to utilize for tying something up, whatever the reason, all right? Boom, it happened. You did what you had to do. All right, so now you're left with this portion of cordage that gets frayed real easy. The innards may come out, you know, it's what the innards look like to your 550 cord. And you want to make sure that you maintain the rest of your cordage. Simple fix. This is what is considered fusing. Basically, you're just going to light the end of it and you are going to melt it. Right? Now, there you go. This creates a relatively hot, sticky, plasticky type substance, or whatever material this is made out of, that will harden and protect this inner portion from fraying anymore or showing your inner strands. Now, pro tip, pro hack, something that you can do that may or may not be recommended by others, but I have done this myself and it has worked, is upon melting the end of this, right, this will stay wet and malleable for a couple minutes. Right? What you can do is, if you need to repair your gear, such as a tarp or a tent, right? You can basically melt this, and that wet, sticky stuff, before it hardens, you can simply wipe it on the material that needs to be sealed and create kind of like a plastic sealant of sorts to repair your tear or hole in a tent, something like that. Now, the next part I'm going to talk about is whipping. And no, we're not talking about whoopsh, whipping. Get back! We're talking about whipping the end of your cordage to prevent it from fraying.
I don't know. I'm making this up as I go.
All right. So what I have utilized and as a demonstration is just some of the innards of 550 cord. And for example, right, when I make my paste beads, I pull out the guts of the 550 cord, okay? And that's what I basically have over here. And I like to hang on to all those inner strands because they help me out with different future projects. Okay, so I'll take an extra strand right here and I will actually use it to create a whipping. Now there's a couple different ways that you can start this off. You can cut off this excess portion before you even begin the whip. Or let's say you already planned on cutting it off. And this material right here, this cordage, is sisal. Now sisal, right, is part of the agave plant, or a relative of the agave plant from Mexico, that's simply very fibrous and has been dried out and intertwined to create cordage. So this rope right here, sisal rope, it will burn. It actually makes a really great fire tinder once you break it up, and you can incorporate it as part of your tinder bundle. And I'll show you shortly after the whipping demonstration how easily and quickly this stuff burns. Okay, so I'll throw that off to the side. All right, now what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your whipping cordage and you're gonna create a bite, right? If you remember from our last knot video, we talked about different cordage terminology and whatnot. This is a bite. Okay, so your running end will be kind of parallel with the end of this rope, right? Basically, upon pinching that hard, you'll have your loop end down here, right? You're basically going to start wrapping over that end numerous times. And I'm not going to give you a specific number. Do it as much as you want or as you need to make it look good or feel comfortable. Maybe a couple dozen will do it, depending on how much cordage you have available to make your whipping, right? All right. See that? Okay. That should be long enough. So basically, I'm gonna feed it through that loop that we created down at the bottom, right? I'm gonna basically hold on to that, and this end that we have sticking out, I'm gonna pull it that way, right? Now, because it's such short cordage, what I typically do is I bite it with my teeth, hold on to it, and pull. I don't recommend it, but that's just one method you can do. All right, so basically I pulled it inside of itself so you can no longer see that loop. And so that leaves this little end right here, this little end portion. And this, what's left of the thing. All you gotta do, take your cutting tool, right? Make sure when you do those things that you're pulling the knife away from you in a safe direction and not towards yourself or down upon yourself in an unsafe manner. Common sense, unfortunately, isn't so common anymore. Now, for those of you who don't have a well-versed knowledge with some of the things that we're talking about, bushcraft, nature, fusing, whipping, this is why we cannot fuse a natural cordage such as sisal, right? It is not like a plastic material that will melt. It is flammable. Whereas your 550 cord just melts. Here's a great example of what I was talking about before with the 550 material, right? As you can see, I left it just kind of sitting there and it actually fused itself, melted itself right there onto that metal. I just wanted to take a quick moment to say thank you to all of our viewers and subscribers. I am so grateful for all of you. Thank you. Please continue to watch, share, subscribe, and stay tuned for all the great content that's to come. I also wanted to take this opportunity to give a shout out to Reed, Dale, and Ollie over at Sierra Outdoor Survival. They're doing some awesome stuff over there. So I will drop their information down in the description box so that way you guys can head over there, check them out, subscribe, and show them some love. I also wanted to give a shout out to our buddy Jeff over at Canada Survival and Bushcraft. Jeff started out just like myself, creating a Facebook group, and then from there, a YouTube channel, and his stuff is awesome. That's our buddy up in the way north. So head over there. I will drop his information down in the description box so you can stop by, check him out, and show him some love as well. And the last couple people I wanted to give a shout out to, but not least, of course, is my buddy Dan from Wood and Iron. Dan does some awesome stuff with metal. I will drop his stuff down in the description box so you can head over to his Facebook page where you can check out all his different products that he's been making. He made me this bottle cap opener back in 2016, and I keep this out with my barbecue stuff, and it's one of my go-tos whenever I want a cold drink on a hot day. And Mikey from Smoke Bros. Mikey is doing big things over there, and one of his newest products is this awesome sleeve for your drink. Head over to Smoke Bros and check out what Mikey's got for you. Cheers. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Last Boy Scouts. If you like what you see, hit that like button. Please subscribe and stay tuned for more from The Last Boy Scouts Survival and Bushcraft.